friend. Have you read all the books, blogs, podcasts, Instagram posts, etc.? You think you know how to be a good mom, but you feel like you're hopelessly flawed and can't do all those things? Do you feel like you're drowning in motherhood and at best you can tread water sometimes, but you're just not getting anywhere? You're still stuck in all the same ruts. Your kids are out of control, your house is a mess, and you can't find any motivation to change any of it? You just feel terrible all the time, stressed out, burned out, and over it? Well, I have great news for you. You have come to the right place. I've got you. I'm Emily Wardrop from Drop the Word Life Coaching. I'm an advanced certified life coach, and I want to let you in on one little simple secret that can change everything for you. You want to know how to be a good mom? I'm going to tell you the secret. Are you still listening? The secret is you already are. Join me on this journey to believe you are a good mom. Here we go. Good morning, my friends. It's been a minute since I recorded one of these early morning podcasts. You don't know what time it is that I'm recording it anyway, but I hope you've been enjoying my guest experts, my guest hosts, my guests, whatever they're called, as much as I have. I love getting my chat on with my friends, so any excuse, and then I'll just share the conversation with you. They're getting pretty raw and real, y'all. I'm starting to get nervous. I've got one on the docket that I'm like, I don't know if I want to admit that to quote unquote everyone out there. I will. Don't worry. I'll do it, but it's a little scary. So be nice to me. The point is that you know that you are not alone. Okay. I am in this messy middle with you. I'm the messy mom coach, and I will admit to you how messy it gets. Okay. All right. So today we're talking about you are enough. I want you to think about that phrase and tell me, literally, you can tell me. You can direct message me on Insta, Facebook, email emily@dropthewordlifecoach.com. If you want to chat back and forth, that'd be amazing. Free Zoom chat, Emily. With Emily. dropthewordlifecoach.com/appointments. You can sign up for a time that we can get on Zoom together and let's talk about this, because I literally want to know what comes up for you when I say you are enough. Because what I found in the humans that I talk to is that phrase is a little bit triggering. Brings up a lot of stuff, thoughts, feelings, inadequacies. Why do we feel inadequate when someone tells us that we're enough? Because our brain is like, yeah, right. No, I'm not. Right? Is that one of the thoughts that's coming up for you? So let's explore it, okay? If it's a different thought, let's explore that. But if it's somewhere in that ballpark, you are enough. No, I'm not. Same with you are a good mom. No, I'm not. Yeah, but that's what I like to say. All the yeah buts, right? So yeah, I'm a good mom, but, or yeah, I can't really believe that because all those thoughts, let's explore those, okay? So today we're going to talk about it in the flavor of enough, because this word, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this word, because I think that the word itself means so many different things. And so let's explore some of this, okay? So you are 100% valuable, lovable, worthy, all the things, right? We learn this in primary. I am a child of God. Do you know what that means? That means God is good, you're good, full stop. Like I like to say, right? But we don't really take it to mean that. And we even learn about it again in Young Women's, that you're a beloved daughter of heavenly parents, right? So what does that actually mean to you? To me, it means God is good, I'm good, full stop. That's who I am, okay? But our cute little brains want to tell us these lies about who we're not, and we want to just believe it on default without checking in with the truth of who we actually are. So then we go to life coach training or we meet Brooke Castillo. And Brooke Castillo is a woman of the world. She's for sure not our primary teacher, right? But she's telling us the same thing. You are 100% valuable. You are 100% worthy. Every human is, just because we are. And I'm like, how come we have to have a life coach lady teach us this? We're supposed to be learning this at church. They're trying to teach us this at church, but we're not believing it. How come we don't believe that? Because we have these human brains. We have these human bodies. We have this human condition. We have this earth life. And we have the veil. We don't remember who we are. Okay? We just have this test, this probationary time to see if we're going to trust God and what he says. And one of the things he says is that he loves us 100%. We're 100% lovable, 100% valuable, 100% worthy. Why is it we don't believe that? You know what that means to me? I am enough. I am good. That's what that means to me. But our brains continue to tell us, because of things we do, because of the way we feel, because of things we don't do, that we're not quite enough. It's never enough. When is enough, people? This is something I ask my husband all the time, because he likes to purchase things. And I'm like, when is enough? Or my daughter. Oh my goodness. She's got that same bug. She's unsatiable. Okay. She's begging me as 6-year-olds do, right? nagging, begging for whatever the next thing is. She gets it, and 30 seconds later, she's on to the next thing. So I'm like, what's the point? I'm not going to say yes to you. I'm not going to give you anything, because it's not enough. It's never enough. You know what else is not, I do use enough for? When they're fighting with each other. Enough. That is enough. Why can't you just be nice to each other? That's enough. Or whatever it is they're doing that's like so annoying, right? Like tapping on the table. Okay, enough. Right? So I know when enough is enough. I can definitely feel it when my lid's about to flip, right? But so there's definitely something that feels like enough, and then something that is never enough. Can you kind of be feeling those two differences in my examples there? And so you never can get enough sugar, right? Until you're sick, and then you're like, oh, that was too much. But there's no, like, you can never get enough of what you don't need, somebody has said. I don't know, but I hear that all the time. You can never get enough of what you don't need. You don't need a bunch of sugar, right? But your sweet tooth can like never be satiated, because you don't actually need that. Good, healthy, nutritious food, you eat some and then you're like, okay, I'm good. That's enough. You can tell when it's enough. You can never get enough scrolling social media, because you just keep getting these dopamine hits, and they actually feel terrible sometimes. For me anyway, I can't stand social media because I can't handle my compare and despair brain. And so I can feel when it's enough. I'm like, whoa, that's too much, right? You can't feel the enoughness with stuff you don't need. You feel it when it's too much. You're like, oh, I feel sick now. I've had way too much candy. I feel sick now. I had way too much cake. So I feel sick now. I've had way too much compare and despair on social media, right? So if it's something that you actually need, so think about this. So how about that? Nutritious, quote unquote, healthy, good for you foods, right? So you're eating a quote unquote healthy meal, and you finish and you feel satiated, right? That was enough. Your pleasure center in your brain may be starting on, okay, we need a dessert. Let's go get something sweet. And that is the part that can never be enough. But if it is something that you actually need, you can tell when it's enough. So think about, so let's go back to this. Enough is enough, right? Like enough with the purchasing, streaming movies on our streaming service, right? Like there's 9 million gajillion movies we can choose for free or as part of our subscription or whatever. Like, why do we have to continue to purchase more movies? When is enough? It's never going to be. If my husband tries to be like, this is the last one, I promise. I'm like, don't even promise that. I know they're going to come out with more movies and you're going to want them all. Like, we don't have to, delude ourselves into thinking this is the last one. Yeah, right. Because there's never enough. That's one of those things that we're just always going to want the next thing, right? But enoughness in our souls. So we actually were discussing this very thing in my Entrepreneurs of Christ group the other day. Because as entrepreneurs, we just want to beat ourselves up all the time. That is never enough. We're not doing enough. We're not, no matter what goal we set, the next day we're ready to set an even bigger goal, right? And so it's like, when is enough enough? So yeah, so back to Brooke Castillo, she talks about this because she sets like ginormous, ridiculous, huge goals and goes after them and believes in impossible goals. And people kind of give her a hard time about that. And they're like, Brooke, when is enough enough? You're super rich. Why do you have to keep making more money? And she's like, it's never enough and it's always enough. Like, I am 100% worthy. It is enough. And I want to continue to develop. And so for her, like, a money goal just helps her expand and grow. And she started and developed all these life coaching tools because she wanted to lose weight. She just had a fight with her body her whole life, and she wanted to be done with that and figure out all the things. And so now she's like, well, I'm rich, I'm skinny, I could just be complacent the rest of my life. Like, what else what else is there? But she knows that she's an expansive being. She can feel that she needs to be developing all the time, and you got to be doing hard things, impossible things even, that she calls it, because you only think it's impossible with your thinking right now. But the impossible is possible when you change your mind, when you change your thinking, when you change the sentences in your brain. So yes, you are 100% valuable and worthy, and you're an expansive being. We need progression. We need growth. We need development. That's why we can't just have a relaxed day. We have to be stressed about something. We have to be worried about something. We have to be trying to, it's like gravity. It's like breathing. We just can't turn it off. We have to be creating. We have to be expanding. We have to be contributing and growing. And yes, we're enough, and it's never enough, right? Because the word enough means something different in both of those cases. And the language is just faltering. Because you are 100% worthy just as you are. You are a good mom, and you want to progress, and you want to stop yelling at your kids, and you want to start feeding them more healthy, and you want to brush their hair. Maybe someday you might care about doing that. And you are a good mom. Like, you are enough, but that doesn't mean you've like arrived. It doesn't mean there's no more work to do. It just means let's stop lying to ourselves about who we are. Because when you say I am, you are connecting to the great I am. Okay. And so if you say I am terrible, I am a bad mom, then you're insulting him. God is not terrible. He is not a bad parent, right? And so when we connect with him, we connect to our divinity, we connect to who we really are. If it's not something that you believe that God is, then it's a lie. Okay. So your brain will be feeding you a bunch of lies about how you are. But you're not your worries, your fears, your doubts, your concerns, your feelings, your actions, all those things. That's not who you are. That's just what you do. Who you actually are is good. Your love, your joy, your peace, gratitude, all the fruits of the Spirit, right? That's who we really are because God made us. That's who he is. So don't take on the lies. I am impatient. Not true. That's a lie. I am feeling impatient right now because I'm a human having this human experience, and my spirit body doesn't like it because my spirit knows who I am, and this isn't it. And so the dissonance tells us that we are good and we're doing some stuff out of alignment, and that's good. That's what we want to be feeling, to know that we are good. And now what? How do we get back in alignment with who we actually are? Okay, so all of this is like what I work on in my coaching program, right? That'll help you remember who you are, believe that you are a good mom, get back in alignment with who you actually are. Because enough is kind of like breathing. When have you breathed enough? Come on now. Haven't you had enough air yet? No, you're always going to need more. We're expansive beings. We're always going to continue to need to breathe. We're always going to continue to need to eat. We're always going to continue to need to connect. There's like basic human needs that there's never enough of them because we're humans. So this is what we're learning from our finite bodies, is that we're actually infinite beings. But it is just a little mind bending in this life. So what I'm starting to try to believe and think about is that we have these brains, right? And our brain gives us thoughts. But even the scientists or whoever are calling the heart, it's saying that the heart has a brain. And so, especially in the model, like Brooke Castillo's model, right? Thoughts, sentences in your brain create a vibration in your body, which we call feeling or an emotion. And so your feelings start in your head, right? You have a brain has a thought, and then you feel it in your body. But if your heart has a thought, if your heart is a brain also, then what's that all about? And so that's what we're diving into and discovering in our little coaching group here. And it turns out enoughness can only be found in the moment, right? Like if I'm working and I'm like, okay, that's enough. I'm ready to go be with my kids again. I'm with my kids and I'm like, okay, that's enough. I'm ready to go have some alone time. It's like you can feel the enoughness in the moment. But do you hear, as I talk about enough through this whole thing, you feel it. You can feel when it's enough. You can feel satiated. You never get enough breathing though. So that's something. But it's the brain that tells us we're never enough. So the brain is the one that's feeding us lies. The brain is the one that's coming up with all this, all this stuff. And we're just so used to believing our brain. We're like, hey, I thought it must be true. And we're really good at believing the thoughts that our brain thinks. But metacognition is like thinking about our thinking, right? And that's the skill we're trying to develop, to be able to be like, is that true, brain? Come on. You don't have to believe every little thing your brain tells you, because it's not your heart brain. Okay. So one of the ways to stop believing what your brain is telling you, like you're a terrible mom, is to drop into your heart. What does your heart feel when I tell you that God created you and he is good and he created you and he said, you are good? It is very good once he created woman, right? You are good. How does that feel? There's jigginess in the brain because the brain isn't used to thinking that. But how does it feel? How does your heart brain feel? So it's found in the moment. So drop into your heart and your spirit and feel it. The brain is in the gap, in the scarcity. There's never enough. I need more, 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 more. But the heart is in the gain, in the abundance, in the that's why when we pray, we start with what we're grateful for, right? We drop into abundance. We see how much we have instead of just jumping right into being the nagging toddler that's like, I want more, 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 more. Give me this, 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 please. Bless me with this. Bless everybody. Change everyone's agency and make things go my way, right? That's the brain, all the thoughts that we're having about the gap, about the scarcity. But when we drop into our heart and we really feel the abundance and the gratitude and the love and the joy and the peace, that's how we can have peace amidst the chaos in our parenting. So the house is full of toddlers running around, being wild, doing their thing, fighting with each other, making messes. And we can drop into our heart and feel the peace that comes from it is enough. You are enough. Your house is a wreck. Your kids are out of control, and you are enough. Okay. So my friend Jackie, find her on Instagram, Jackie Inspires. She inspires. You need some inspiration, hit her up. I bought one of her artworks that says it is enough. It's a cover art for this episode. Check it out. Just to remind me that I am enough. It's enough. A house is a wreck. So what? That's because it's full. Look at the abundance of stuff in this house. The abundance of food. There must be an abundance because there's a lot on the floor. That's what my mom always says. When there's too much food, the kids throw it on the floor and jump up and down on it. As if she had a house full of kids once. That's where she comes up with these things. So stay in the abundance, my friends. You are enough. It's in the moment. We're expansive beings. We always want to progress. We want more. We have an insatiable human drive. There's lots of them. Like, we feel hunger. We feel thirst. We feel like sexual drives. We feel a need to connect with people. And there's all these things that it's just part of our condition. And we got to figure out, is this coming from the brain or from the heart? And you can feel it, right? You can feel when you've connected with people and you feel buoyed up and you feel full, right? You feel fulfilled. And then the next day it's gone, right? Because every day we got to eat. So there's something to that. It's never enough, but you are always enough. Okay? All right, my friends, believe you are a good mom and you can continue to improve. Believing that you're a good mom doesn't mean you've arrived, you're done, you can just let it all go now. No, it's the way to improve is to believe. Have that solid foundation of who you are solidly inside of you. Okay, anything else about this? What'd I forget? What are your thoughts about it? Let me know so that we can carry on the conversation and apply it to you specifically. Because, I can go on and on and on in a monologue, but a dialogue is super much more fun. It's connecting, right? All right. Till next time. Love you. Bye. Hey, friend. Thanks for listening. If you want to learn more about how you can believe that you are a good mom, head over to dropthewordlifecoach.com/believe, and you get access to my free pre-recorded masterclass that will teach you all about the hands-on, exactly how to believe that you are a good mom. Start believing right now. Feel the peace, my friend. We got this. You got this. See you there.